SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage.
A Dublin derby to kick off your Friday night. St Pat's the visitors to Fortress Tolka.
Oh yeah, lovely finish. What a finish that
Yes, Shelbourne yet to lose at home this season. Damien Duff's team fifth and pushing hard for the European spots and in pretty good form. Unbeaten in their last 8. Consistency under Duffer has become the norm. St Pat's, on the other hand, anything but consistent, despite a change of manager and a mixed bag of results. Interim boss John Daly has his team just 1 point behind Shells in that chase for European qualification. Live from Tolka Park on Virgin Media 2, it's at Shelbourne versus St Patrick's Athletic. Kick-off at less than 15 minutes away. Good evening to you. A nice bit of needle between these two teams in the past as well, which always adds to a derby. Both managers, old youth protégés of Brian Kerr from back in the day, so only right to have the man himself on board, alongside former Shells and Waterford manager Ian Morris. We'll chat to you both in just a minute, chaps. But let's first have a look at the other games taking place tonight. Full card this evening in the Premier Division. Liam Buckley in interim charge of Cork against one of his former clubs, Sligo. Big game at Oriel Park at fourth. Take on third when Dundalk host Bows. Second place Derry are at home to bottom of the table at UCD, and in Tala Shamrock Rovers take on Drogheda, and the champions are looking to extend their winning run to 7 and maintain their lead at the top of the table, with Derry leading that chasing pack. So Ian, I've been hearing a lot from Damien Duff this week in the headlines about all sorts of things, some of it even about this game as well. Shells coming off the back of a pretty impressive 3-0 win away in Sligo. And one of the interesting things he said was that he's really happy with a constant level of improvement even since he's been there last season. Are you seeing the same thing from Shelbourne?
Yeah, I think the biggest improvement this year has been defensively. They're only behind Rovers and Derry in the league in clean sheets. They've 7 so far this season, and I think they're performing really consistently this year. They don't tend to win or lose by an awful lot, and last week against Sligo was the first game that there's been more than a 1-goal difference in the games that they've played. So I think they've been really impressive in terms of how they set up, and they sit back, they drop into a back 5, and they tend to play teams on the counter, and Jack Moylan up top has been really, really excellent for them, and they break with a lot of legs and a lot of pace.
Was this a quintessential sort of Shells performance in that they had 37% possession, but they punished Sligo when a couple of mistakes were made?
Yeah, they've showed up defensively, like I just mentioned, and then at the top of the pitch, they're breaming with confidence. They've got players who can go by you, they're willing runners, and they're taking their chances. So they were really excellent against Sligo last week. They don't tend to dominate possession, but they'll hurt you when they go forward. And
is he stirring things up by saying that Pats have a bigger budget than his, and oh my God, aren't we doing brilliant to be ahead of them? Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, I think
causing a bit of ructions.
It's Mourinho-esque, isn't it? It's that mental warfare that he's playing, but he's been brilliant with his talk track and what he says. Every week there's always something that you can pick out of it, but he's not brought in players on buttons himself, so they're doing all right.
Right. Okay, he's manipulating the message there a bit. Brian, on the other hand, where Duffer is master of all he surveys, a bit of instability at Pats. Obviously, John Daly has come out this week and he said, look, need some clarity here. Am I going to be staying in the job? What's going on? I read in the papers today, Brian, that they've sounded out Neil Lennon for the job, so they're aiming at that kind of level. So what can you fill us in with? What's going on there?
Well, I don't have the inside story on it. I would think that they would have liked Jonathan Daly to do well. I think he's popular around the club. He's good experience from his time in Scotland. At Hearts, he was interim manager a couple of times, went off and coached in Finland as well. So I think they've been hoping that it would go well with Jonathan. They won the first 2 games. They won in Cork 3-2. They beat Drogheda 3-0. Didn't play particularly well in either game, I'd have to say. Bit unfortunate not to get something from the game in Tala against Shamrock Rovers on Monday. I understand that they've been talking to people who've applied for the job, but I don't know where it's going or who, whether Jonathan is likely to be given the opportunity to stay in the position he's in. But they've got good experience there. Jonathan's experienced now. He knows the league. He's been there last year with Timmy Clancy. Alan Matthew's there as well. Sean O'Connor. They've been around the league a long time. Pat Jennings is there as well, the goalkeeping coach who knows the league very, very well. So, you know, while I think everybody would like the stability of a manager being in place, whether it's Jonathan or someone else, it's very important for St Patrick's Athletic that they make the right decision for the longer term. They've had to jump around a little bit with Stephen O'Donnell packing his bags for Dundalk quickly after they won the Cup before the start of last season, and now Tim has moved on fairly early in this season. So they need
on like the frustration that Daly's feeling, and he says like the players are still the same. Like it's necessary in the short term to get the right call in the long term.
Jonathan has to say something because he's been asked a question by the media, so he gives an answer.
Well, let's hear from him. We can check in with both camps now. Here's Will Dalton with the 2 managers.
Damien, you said during the week it was a statement performance over Sligo Rovers. Message to the players, same performance again, please. Keep going.
Yeah, well, that's how you become a top team. It's following up good performances with, I guess, even better performances. So that's the hope. Listen, we've had a good training week. We've done all our work on Pats, and it's over to the guys now.
Listen, past manager John Daly was saying there's no rivalry between these 2 sides. It is a Dublin derby. Would you agree with that or disagree that there is a bit of a rivalry there?
Listen, as long as there's Dublin derbies in the League of Ireland, there'll always be a rivalry. And wherever long I'm here with Shelbourne and John is with, and I do wish him, I wish him well, and I hope he gets a job. There's a rivalry that goes on a long time between Pat and Shell, so it is there, for me anyway.
Listen, 8 games, you've remained undefeated. How important is it to keep that momentum going? How important is that to the team morale to keep that momentum going?
Of course, yeah, it's important, especially to get where you want to go. Results-wise, you need them, but first and foremost with me, it's all about performances, and all we're concentrating on tonight is following up last week's performance with a good performance tonight.
John, perfect evening for us. The players looking forward to getting back onto the pitch after a good performance against Rovers, but ultimately a disappointing result.
Yeah, of course, it's great to get back out on the pitch. It's always nice to get back out and try and remedy the result we had on Monday. We're relatively pleased with the performance, but as you say, the result obviously is what matters at the end of the day, and we lost the game, so we're trying to come back here now and get 3 points to remedy that.
Overall, it's been a positive start to your tenure. Minus the Rovers game, but a good performance there. You confident you can keep that going?
Yeah, well, look, we're obviously aware of the threat that Shelbourne posed. They had a fantastic result away to Sligo last week, 3-0. So we know what they can do. Defensively, they're solid and they don't concede many goals. So it's important that we continue in the same vein we have been going forward and score goals and try and tighten up at the back.
Listen, apart from the last game between the 2 sides, there has been plenty of goals between these 2 teams. You did say during the week you expect a tight game. Is that because of that lean Shelbourne defence?
Yeah, as I said, they've defended really well. They've built their team around the defensive side of their game, and credit to them. They defend resolutely at the back, and it's up to us to try and find solutions to break that down.
Yeah, you heard Damien Duff referring to that performance in Sligo as a statement one, and that's reflected in the team selection, Ian, the same 11 that started that game. And as you mentioned it there, it's the joint best defence in the league along with Derry. But interesting, only UCD and Drogheda have scored fewer.
Yeah, I think Damien's done brilliant in really installing that belief and in the players and getting really the maximum out of the players. And when you see the team there, it's the same team as last week. Shells will drop into a back 5, but the interesting is what they do in the midfield. They went with a box last week and they played Smith and Caffrey a lot narrower just behind Moylan, and that allowed them to get higher up the pitch. They have that real flexibility where they move them, either they play wide or they play narrow, and you'll see that during the game, whether they go a 5-4-1 or they have that box in midfield to really get them higher up the pitch. And I think that's important because they don't dominate possession, and when they do break quickly, it's important to have the bodies up close to Moylan, so when they do transition they can hurt the opposition, and that's that's what they've showed in most of their goals this year.
Yeah, and Moylan has carried such a threat for them this season so far, hasn't he? Pat's team, on the other hand, like maybe reflecting that sort of absence of stability. Brian, there's 3 changes. Jay McGrath pays the price for the goals conceded the other night, and 2 changes in the attacking areas as well.
Yeah, young Sam Curtis got back in centre half. He's played there recently. He played the second half there down in Cork and played very well. Really, really good young player. He's only 17. Adam Murphy in the middle of the field. Plenty of quality in there. Another very young player coming through the underage team. Chris Forrester is outstanding ability on the ball, capable of scoring, been scoring regularly this season. But they've made a couple of changes up front. Jake Mulroney's come in. He's scored 6 goals in the league this year. Young Ben McCormick gets a chance. Only his second start this season, and the experience of Owen Doyle. So they've plenty of threat. I mean, Pat's haven't had a problem scoring goals. He's got 26 goals. The problem has been stopping goals at the back.
That's what John Daly's been talking about, isn't it? Like, because he knows Shelbourne aren't going to concede many, and he feels his team can't afford to concede either. So what do you think, Brian?
I don't think it'll be a 4-4 draw like last year's match, and Pats won the other match 3-0 at Tolka. I think it'll be a tighter affair tonight. I'd say a low-scoring draw, actually. Yeah. Shells have won 4 and drawn 4 the last 8.
I think Shells just have that consistency. They have the same line-up again tonight, and they've been they have that bit between their teeth.
OK, our live match tonight is Dublin rivals Shelbourne against St. Pat's. Throughout the night, we'll keep you up to date with all the other action around the League of Ireland. Commentators for this one are Keith Tracy and Bernard O'Toole.
Thanks, Tommy. Good evening, everybody. 2 of the heavyweights of Irish football meeting in a Dublin derby at a jam-packed Tolka Park. Shelbourne are in superb form under the guidance of Damien Duff on an 8-match unbeaten run. St. Pat's came to Tolka Park this evening on the back of an impressive performance against Shamrock Rovers on Monday, but essentially a match in which they came up short. 2 sides meeting here whose strengths and weaknesses could not be more of a contrast. Shells have one of the best defences and one of the worst attacks in the league. St. Pat's have one of the worst defences but one of the best attacks. A red-hot atmosphere inside Tolka Park. Capacity here is 4,500, very close to that. Well, considering his side are on an unbeaten run of 8 matches, no surprise that Damien Duff names an unchanged starting 11 from the win in Sligo. So Luke Byrne captains the side from the centre of the back 3. Shane Griffin and Matty Smith were FAI Cup winners with St. Pat's. Jack Moylan is the man of the moment for Shelbourne. A hat-trick in Sligo has brought him further to the attention of scouts from England. He now has scored 16 in 15 in the league. Well, John Daly makes 3 changes to the St. Pat's side that were so close to getting a result against Shamrock Rovers on Monday night. The Swedish defender Axel Sjoberg comes in for Jay McGrath. 2 attacking changes as well, as Jake Mulroney and Ben McCormick are preferred to Jason McClelland and Mark Doyle. Striker Owen Doyle likes this fixture. He has scored 5 goals in his last 3 matches against Shells, including the winner in February. St. Pat's in their huddle. Shelbourne also ready to go at Tolka Park. It is Keith Tracy alongside me. Keith, we heard the views of the lads in studio. What are you expecting from this game, though?
I'm expecting a very tight game, Bernard. I don't think there's an awful lot between the 2 teams. I think whichever team takes their chances will be the one that comes out on top. And I don't think I'm giving any great secret away when you look at St. Pat's. It's Chris Forrester, 8 goals already this season. If Shelbourne can get in around him and nullify what he does, they'll go an awful long way to keeping St. Pat's quiet in this game.
Well, it was a 1-0 victory for St. Pat's in the match in Inchicore back in February. The last match that took place here between these 2 sides in the league, though, was an absolute belter. 3rd of October last year, Shelbourne 4, St. Pat's 4, an 8-goal thriller. How we'd love something similar this evening. It has always been tasty, it's always been lively when these 2 have met. It is a Dublin derby that cannot be overlooked in terms of what it brings to the table. Great spectacle, really great night for football as well at Tolka Park. A meeting of 5th against 6th in the SSE Electricity League. Tolka Park rocking, and we are about to get the main show underway between the Reds of Shelbourne and St. Pat's in their changed away strip of yellow and black this evening. Referee gets us underway. Referee this evening is Paul McLaughlin. 11th game of the season for him. His 3rd here at Tolka Park. And we are underway straight away. With some defensive work here for J.R. Wilson to do for Shelbourne. Quick release towards that man of the moment, Jack Moylan. A superb hat-trick in Sligo last week. Just couldn't trap that on that occasion. Now it's Sam Curtis who skips inside. Ball over the top by Jamie Lennon. And St. Pat's looking to get in behind once from the off. It is over the bar. It's a bright move by St. Pat's though. Went from back to front very quick.
Yeah, brilliant start from St. Pat's. First 35 seconds they play a ball in behind the Chris Forrester. You see Owen Doyle in the middle of the pitch. He wanted Forrester to cross it, but being so early on, Forrester decides to see where his luck is and just gets a little bit too much on it. But great start from Pat's out. Shot in the opening 50 seconds or so.
Well within his rights to have a shot from there, Chris Forrester. As Keith said, 8 goals in his 16 league games this season. 2nd spell at the club. League and cup winner in his 1st spell. Cup winner and cup final goal scorer now in his 2nd spell. And that's going to be a free kick. Player on the deck for St. Pat's is Jamie Lennon. Just feeling the after effects of that challenge. Lennon made his 150th appearance for the club on Monday night. Just a word in the ear there for Mark Coyle. It was just late there, Keith.
Yeah, he was late. He's a little bit lucky to get away with just a talking to. It's not a malicious tackle, but he knows exactly what he's doing. Just leaves a little bit on Jamie Lennon. Would have been the 4th tackle of the game. I think the referee's happy enough to let that go.
Mentioned Shelbourne's struggles in front of goal. They've scored 16 league goals this season. Only Drogheda on the bottom side, UCD, have scored less. Contrast that with St. Pat's, 26 league goals this season. It's only the leaders, Shamrock Rovers, that have scored more. Safely into the arms of Conor Kearns, who launches that one long, the Shelbourne goalkeeper. Moylan can't get there. Well won in the air by GW16. And he'll try to keep that one in once again. Will Tom GW16. Couldn't do so. Corner kick to Shelbourne is the outcome there. They have conceded plenty from set plays this season, have Shelbourne. How they'd love to score from a set play here early on inside the opening 3 minutes. Played this one short. Back out by Farrell to the taker. It's not an entirely good ball. They look to recycle it. And St. Pat's get it away. The furthest player forward for St. Pat's is Mulroney. And he can't keep that in play.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad idea by Shells. He went for the short corner. When Evan Cafferty gets it back, you really want him to put his foot through that, go and fire it towards the back stick. It's a little bit loopy and nothing comes of it. Just a little bit more quality needed from them set pieces. 2nd
Dublin derby in a week for St. Pat's. A real cracker against Shamrock Rovers on Monday night. That late penalty from Richie Towell winning it for Rovers. 6,200 supporters in the Tallaght Stadium. 1,200 of those were St. Pat's fans. And once again here this evening, another red-hot Dublin derby atmosphere. Shelbourne looking for something there, not getting it. Here's Linus, he goes long. Doyle couldn't control that one, and they've given it away rather cheaply. And they try to get it back through Lennon, and St. Pat's are not comfortable on the ball at the moment. And here is Sam Curtis now, who can take a little bit of time. And Curtis, a year now since he became St. Pat's youngest ever starter in the modern era at just 16 years of age. Curtis, breakdown in communication there between Farrell and Coyle for Shelbourne. Mulroney leaves it for Forrester. Shelbourne have backed off a little bit here. Lennon from a long way out. Saw his name in lights, but it wasn't on target. But they did back off to Shelbourne, inviting the shot, and Lennon did take it on.
Yeah, it's exactly what you'd expect from Jamie Lennon. When he gets the ball, you're expecting him to play it out wide, but the Shelbourne midfield, they do drop off, they invite the shot. Jamie Lennon takes it on, but not his best. He'd like to have that one back, but Damien Duff won't be happy with his team dropping off on the edge of his own 18-yard box. Need to get in to face it, because eventually one of them will end up in the back of the net.
Long time at St. Pat's now, Jamie Lennon, but he actually joined from Shelbourne, where he was a youth team player. First real shot in anger has come from him. Good strength to see the ball out of that occasion. A bright great start to this Dublin derby, as you would expect from these two sides. Now it's Coyle for Shelbourne. Takes his time. Here's J.R. Wilson. Congested in that central area. Wilson once again, J.R. Wilson that is. The Wilson brothers starting for Shelbourne this evening. J.R. and Tyreek Wilson. There have been plenty of famous brothers playing for Shelbourne down through the years. I think back to the Gagans, Declan and Stephen as well, in the 90s and early 90s. Shelbourne doing well, keeping the ball down. Here's J.R. Lunny, now Farrell. Back into Coyle once again. Little layoff by Coyle, pressure from Mulroney, and it's paid some dividends because St. Pat's get it back. Lennon leaves it for Forrester. Space on that far side. Forrester takes his time and plays it back to Curtis. Gravosty. And they push right on here of Shelbourne, but St. Pat's have broken through the lines. Forrester, Lennon. From a position of being under a little bit of pressure inside their own half of the field, St. Pat's get going into the Shelbourne half. Room and space now for Matty Smith. Moylan wants it. Moylan was the target, didn't reach him. Nice little nutmeg there as well. And St. Pat's get it back away as far as Owen Doyle. Mulroney was playing off his shoulder, but it was a poor ball by Doyle. Dangerous one from the goalkeeper. Now it's Coyle. Movement up ahead is Moylan. Not a good first touch by Moylan. Layoff is decent though. Smith wants it on that far side. Smith gets it now for Shelbourne. Ball into feet. Moylan leaves it, gets it back again. That's going to be a free kick. Late challenge by Gravosty on Moylan, and this is going to be a free kick in a good position for Shelbourne.
Yeah, excellent play by Shelbourne. As soon as the ball goes into the front man's feet, you see Jack Moylan's on the move. He wants to get in and around and play with the second balls, and he goes and wins the free kick. Nice little bit of play there. You see the ball just popping up. Anto Breslin lucky to get away with not the handball there. There you see just before that, Bernard, this is what I'm talking about. When when St. Pat's lose the ball, Chris Forrester loses it, and all of a sudden Shelbourne have a chance to go and break. Nothing comes of it, but that's what John Daly will be saying to the Pats team. We can't lose the ball, because on turnover, Shelbourne will be going straight for the jugular.
Well, the left footer of Tyreek Wilson is standing over this. And Wilson takes it on. It was on target, just hadn't got enough venom on it to really trouble Linus. It's a shot on target for Shelbourne though. Enough to get the home fans excited. Mulroney. Back he goes to Anto Breslin. St. Pat's being patient here. The 3-2 loss at Rovers on Monday night made it 3 losses in their last 5 for St. Pat's. 2 wins in there as well against Cork and Drogheda. The losses to Shamrock Rovers, Sligo Rovers and Derry. Forrester. Now it's with Gravosty. It's come through though to Adam Murphy. Now Forrester well within range for him to have a go. Tries to slide it in to Doyle. The flag stayed down on the far side. Doyle had a little look across. It's a wonderful ball by Forrester. Really good spot. Heavy shoulder there from Shelbourne.
Referee just having a little word with Shelbourne. There's been a couple of full-blooded tackles already, but it's exactly what you'd expect from a Dublin derby.
Axel Shelbourne joined in March from Olympic in the 3rd tier of Swedish football, former Helsingborg youth team player. Moylan with the flick on, wasn't terribly good though. And St. Pat's have gone back to the goalkeeper. And not for the first time, just plays it out short. He was quite vocal this week, was Damien Duff, said about the disrespect from clubs in the UK, pointing to agents of clubs looking at some of his players, perhaps looking to buy them on the cheap. Made it quite clear that None of the Shelbourne squad have a release clause in their contracts saying they can leave for X or Y amount of money. He's been quite strong on that for a long time as Duff. It's going to be another free kick here. Coyle, rather, the player who was fouled.
Again, Bernard, St. Pat's making their own problems. Grogowski just pops the ball into midfield, it gets nicked, and all of a sudden Shelbourne have a free kick 40 yards away from St. Pat's goal when you have comfortable possession. Just need to be very careful in there because Shelbourne's press is very, very good.
There was Adam Murphy who gave away the free kick. Caffrey will take for Shelbourne, right-footed, has a go himself. Well, it wasn't on target. He saw his name in lights. And this didn't come off for Caffrey. First season at the club for the player who joined from UCD. He was actually a grandson of the late Reds legend Theo Dunn, who was the only man to lead an Irish club out at the new camp after Shells played a European Cup clash there in 1960. He certainly runs in the family. Gravosti, Lennon, nice ball to find Chris Forrester. Mulroney now hugging the touchline on this left side. Been looked after by Farrell, not looked after well enough though. He got his cross in, was just too close to the goalkeeper in the end.
Yeah, it was a good ball, and you can see Owen Doyle tried to read. He's trying to get across that front post, but the time is just slightly out. Go straight into Conor Cairns' hands.
Shelbourne looking to get in behind on that occasion. That's going to be a free kick from the foul by Caffrey, Evan Caffrey.
Looking forward to see how young Sam Cairns does now playing centre-half. Seen an awful lot of him this season, very, very impressive, but generally he's been playing right back and maybe right wing, a little bit more advanced, but seeing him as part of one of the centre-halves today is another challenge for him. Such a young man, he's just been knocking the challenges out. We'll see how he does tonight in this position.
It is a busy night across the SSE Electricity League Premier Division. There has been a goal at Oriel Park, whereas Dundalk won, Bows 0. Just 4 minutes gone there, and Pat Houben scored for Dundalk. Good play by Shelbourne. They've got in behind here, trying to break the line, trying to get their shot away. And in the end, it was a last-ditch challenge by Gravosti. Did enough for Pats. Lennon now clears it. Shelbourne coming onto it again with J.R. Wilson. Himself and Mulroney with the coming together.
Yeah, I actually thought that was a good decision by the referee. I think J.R. Wilson goes and wins the ball and then initiates the contact off Mulroney, but this is Matty Smith getting in behind. Really good feet. Ball just gets stuck under his feet a bit there, tries to get it out of his feet, but Grogowski manages to get the block. Good defender from St. Pat's in the end.
It's been in good form this season, Matty Smith. 3 goals scored. Ex-Waterford, St. Pat's and Derry, of course. Also played for Dundee United. Was actually on Celtic's books as a youngster. Very much a big part of what Damien Duff is doing at Shelbourne at the moment, though.
A lot's been made of how Shelbourne defend, and rightly so. They're very, very good at defending, but some of the attacking players on show, the likes of Jack Moyle and Matty Smith, even Shane Farrell can eat up the ground and go and join that attack as well. So Evan Caffrey as well, dead ball situations, usually really good delivery. So for as good as they are in defence, Shelbourne, they do have players that can hurt you on the attack.
Coyle with the foul on Forrester, so it's going to be a free kick to St. Pat's. What a servant Chris Forrester has been for St. Pat's. More appearances than any other of the current players, over 300 now. Of course, spells with the likes of Peterborough and Aberdeen as well. Gravosti winning that one in the air. Tyreek Wilson sending it in towards Moylan, who's always a handful. He's got the turn here, has Moylan. He's done well against Curtis. Now he's been held up by Curtis. Ducks the shoulder one way and the other. That is a really intriguing battle, but it's going to result in a free kick for St. Pat's. The foul committed by Moylan.
Yeah, really good play by young Sam Curtis. Initially, he's a little bit too eager, goes and tries to get the other side of Moylan, but Moylan just turns him. Really good play from Sam Curtis, so he doesn't give up, wins the ball back and ends up winning the free kick for St. Pat's, but just needs to be a little bit careful because Jack Moylan will roll him if he tries to get too eager there.
like an awful lot of these St. Pat's players. Sam Curtis, still a teenager, just 17 years of age, of course, made his Republic of Ireland under-21 debut back in March. So many good young players on show for both teams this evening. Forrester, as ever, the player looking for it. Adam Murphy. Shelbourne. Just hit that one long, did the Shelbourne goalkeeper Conor Kearns. Lennon. St. Pat's turn now to go all the way back to their own goalkeeper. Shelbourne front three are pushed right on the St. Pat's defence. Clearly a tactic by Damien Duff not to allow St. Pat's to play it out from the back, or certainly not to let St. Pat's play it out comfortably from the back, let's say. Rusty. Now it's Curtis. Again, two pushed on the two deep St. Pat's defenders.
It's not the worst ball in the world from Jamie Lennon. Things were just getting a little bit tight. You could see the Shelbourne press was getting tighter and tighter, so Jamie Lennon just decides to flick one around the corner. It's not a bad idea, but just not read.
Header won powerfully there. J.R. Lunny, and just wasn't kept in play on that far side by Tyreek Wilson. John Daly, much like his opposite number, Damien Duff, kicking every ball on that far side. First defeat as interim manager for Daly on Monday. Gravosty. It's a smart ball. Adam Murphy. Doyle is the target. Didn't reach him though. Put out by Luke Byrne. Tyreek Wilson completing it. Well in there was Sam Curtis, but Shells come forward with it once again. Plenty of options inside the penalty area. It's opened up here, and just for a second you thought Caffery was going to get a shot on target, but credit the defending, which was good. The door was slammed shut right in his face.
Yeah, as soon as Evan Cafferty picks the ball up here, you see Matty Smith driving with it, gives the ball to Evan Cafferty. He's got Anto Breslin 1v1. When he shifts it onto his left side, I'm thinking he's every chance. Sam Curtis does really well, busting a gut to get back in and clear the ball. Brilliant defending from young Sam Curtis.
Absolutely top draw from Curtis. Matty Smith lays it off, shot from the edge of the penalty area, and it's dragged just wide by J.R. Lunny. That was a really good opening, came out of nowhere, Smith involved, and the finish just wasn't there.
Yeah, Shelbourne starting to turn the screw again. It's a ball in from the right wing from Shane Farrell. It gets its way to Matty Smith. He swings on it, can't get it, just drops it off to JJ Lunny at the end of the box. It's a decent strike, just drags it ever so slightly. Dean Linus in the Pats goal would have been thinking this might have been nestling in the corner. Just wide.
Well, we mentioned Owen Doyle likes this fixture, so too does Lunny. 2 goals in the 3 games between these two sides last season. Scored the winner at Richmond Park a year ago as well. He went close there. No goals so far, but plenty of openings. Gravosty. Doyle is the target. Byrne will win that easily though. Tyreek Wilson with a little bit of pressure there, and Shells have picked St. Pat's off with some good play. Moylan tried to get there, but a lovely little intervention by Jamie Lennon. Made his 150th appearance, Jamie Lennon, for St. Pat's against Shamrock Rovers on Monday. Here is Lennon on cue. Now Curtis. Breslin. Mulroney looking to find a half a yard just off him, but Shelbourne sitting very deep out of possession, as you would expect. Forrester just couldn't trap that. Here's Farrell now. Coyle. Won the free kick off Adam Murphy.
Yeah, good play by Coyle. He gets a challenge in on Forrester just as Forrester looked like he was going to break away from the midfield and gets up and wins the foul for his team. Really good defensive play by Coyle.
Ambitious ball over towards that far side. Stjordberg wins it in the air. Coyle now. Caffrey. Wasn't a great ball by Caffrey towards Farrell. Shells get it back though. Another long ball hit towards Moylan. Have not seen the best of Jack Moylan so far this evening. The service hasn't been fantastic to him in the opening 21 minutes or so here. That's better from the Shelbourne goalkeeper to get Shelbourne moving on their way. Slid in for Moylan. Now Matty Smith. Shelbourne players breaking inside that penalty area to join the attack. Lunny. They've worked a little bit of space here. Lovely little play off the shoulder. Moylan looking to get in behind. Moylan still there. Shelbourne still have it. And it's gone wide. St. Pat's wanted a free kick out, but it's going to be a corner kick. Really good play by Shelbourne as they broke.
Yeah, brilliant play by Jack Moylan. Just forces his way to the byline here. Jamie Lennon has him. Looks like he's about to take the ball. There's a little bit of pulling, but I want my centre midfielder to be stronger there. He can't be going over in the box hoping the referee gives him something. Needs to be stronger there. Get rid of the ball and then speak to the referee. This set piece now needs to be defended.
Shane Farrell plays that one short. Back into Farrell. Lunny. Well, they haven't done well from what was a corner kick. They've gone deeper and deeper now, Shelbourne. They're now back inside their own half of the field as all those players that were forward for the corner kick now get themselves back into position, or try to get themselves back into position. Final ball poor once again for St. Pat's though. I have to say, in the opening 22 minutes here, the service to Moylan at one end and Doyle at the other end have not been fantastic.
It's twice now Shelbourne have had a corner and they've gone short as well, Bernard. And you look, I done the commentary for the first game against these two in Richmond Park, and it was a set piece that decided the game. So just put the ball in with some real quality, let the big lads go and attack it. At the minute they've been messing around at the edge of the box and they haven't been putting it in with quality.
Farrell and J.R. Wilson. Not a great kick for the goalkeeper, but he kicked it straight at one of his own players in Mark Coyle. Going to chase here now for Caffrey. The long ball, well won in the air by J.R. Wilson. Lennon finds Forrester. Here's Chris Forrester again. They have got plenty forward, St. Pat's, but the problem is Shelbourne also have plenty back. Finding it hard to find that little half a yard of space when they get inside the Shelbourne half of the field. They haven't got one of the best defences in the league for nothing, have Shelbourne. Lunny on the ground. It's going to be a throw in for St. Pat's. Curtis. Now Mulroney sent that one over the top. And so Breslin has been fouled, and so it's going to be a free kick for St. Pat's.
Yeah, good brave play by Anto Breslin there. The ball bounces up, he knows he's going to take a whack. Goes in, gets the ball, wins a free kick for his team. And it's very congested in the middle of the pitch for both teams. I think whoever gets the ball out to the flanks and puts some quality into the box from there is probably the best route of getting a goal at the minute. We need a little bit more quality from both teams in the final third.
And this free kick is going to be taken left-footed by Mulroney, who goes short. That's a beautiful effort And it's hit the crossbar. What a shot that was from a long way out. It was Ben McCormick. Now look for all the world that it's going to go into the top corner.
Yeah, we've a brilliant angle here, Bernard, don't we? Mulroney just drops it into Ben McCormick, and again I was thinking put the ball into the box with a bit of quality, but he nearly shut me right up, hits the angle of the crossbar and the post. Great strike from Ben McCormick, not far away at all.
Scored his first goal of the season against Shamrock Rovers on Monday. He was a lick of paint away from scoring his second a couple of days later. That is the closest we've come.
We've already said that Damien Duff won't be happy with Pat shooting from them sort of areas. Shelbourne will have to get out and get people into the face, you see. They're getting out, they're trying their best, but it's too late, almost ends up in the back of the net.
Still awaiting the first goal here. A couple of other goals to report as well. It is now Cork 1, Sligo 0. Rory Higgins with a goal there in 16 minutes, and Derry have taken the lead against UCD. Busy night across the SSE Electricity League. We'll keep you bang up to date what's happening elsewhere. Right here, crossbar has been struck. Oh, that's poor from Lennon. Moylan, oh, it's poor from Moylan as well, it has to be said. Great opportunity. Shells had 3 players pushed on, and Moylan just couldn't pick out a teammate. Mulroney. Curtis. Gravosti. Looking to get on in behind is Doyle. He's done well. He's getting a bit of change here on this occasion off Luke Byrne as Doyle. Corner kick for St. Pat's.
Excellent runner from Old Doyle. When that ball gets popped in behind, you're always thinking he's second best to go and get there, but Luke Byrne gets there first, but Owen Doyle doesn't give up, keeps hardy and wins the ball back. Goes and wins a corner for his team.
And we did mention Shelbourne set plays, 10 goals that they've conceded this season, 6 have come from set plays. They've got a set play to defend here. So Pats have gone short, they've gone very deep, all the way back to Lennon. Sjoberg gets it back once again. Murphy back to Sjoberg again, and much like Shelbourne a couple of minutes ago when they had that short corner kick, St. Pat's are now getting their players back. They got forward for the corner kick because nothing really materialised. Gravosti needs to be careful. Back to his goalkeeper he goes. Lennon. Atmosphere is just quieting down inside the last couple of moments. The feeling that both Shelbourne and St. Pat's just need to get the players back, or the supporters rather, back out of their seats again. It's going to be a free kick here for Shelbourne. Goalkeeper Conor Kearns is going to take it. Spent some time at St. Pat's in his career. Of course, was signed from Galway United, ex-UCD as well. Had a short spell at St. Pat's. And Shelbourne goalkeeper flicked on towards Moylan by Matty Smith. No nonsense defending there by Gravosti. We mentioned the 4-4 game here last season, but all the games last season were lively. It started in February here, a 3-0 victory for St. Pat's, then a 2-1 victory for Shelbourne in Inchicore in May, the 4-4 game in October, and a 4-0 victory for St. Pat's on the final day of last season. A narrow 1-0 victory for St. Pat's in the game earlier this season.
I think I was at the first game of the season here last year, and Darragh Burns, if my memory serves me right, scored an absolute cracker that day.
He did indeed. Burns, Mark Doyle and McClelland with the goals. He almost had a cracker of a goal here, but for the crossbar denying McCormick. Lennon. Curtis. Gravosty. Curtis. Knocks that one long. It was towards Doyle, given away by Luke Byrne. Flicked on by Mulroney. Back into Mulroney from Doyle. Mulroney was stretching. It's a goal kick. No foul by Mulroney. That was a decent break by St. Pat's, Keith.
Yeah, you could see what Owen Doyle was trying to do. As soon as he takes his first touch, he wants to reverse it back into Mulroney. He's not a million miles away from doing it. You see here the little reverse passing. Mulroney doesn't give up on it either. Gets a good tackle in there. Shelbourne do enough to get it behind. And again, Bernard, it's the same, I think, for both teams. Just haven't quite clicked in the final third. I'm doing well up to a certain area, but once you need that final ball to be the killer ball, hasn't quite been there yet.
Here's a man who can change that. It's Moylan. There's a tug of the jersey there by Gravosty.
Turning into a good battle, that, isn't it, Gravosty and Moylan?
Moylan on the deck, free kick for Shelbourne. Well, he was doing laps of the pitch when we arrived, was Damien Duff, and credit has to go to his assistant Joey O'Brien as well, putting the rest of us to shame.
Yeah, 5k. I was asked to join in, Bernard, but I'm not sure I had it.
Yeah, you're wearing shoes, Keith. We'll forgive you.
Thanks, I was looking for an excuse.
Farrell. Well, the ball was decent inside for Caffrey. The ball back to him, just did not reach him on that occasion. It's going to be a throw-in for St. Pat's. Gravosty. This time he goes long and is given it straight back to Shelbourne, which will be music to the Shelbourne ears, considering that they more or less forced them into doing that by the high press that they have right in the faces of that St. Pat's defence, making things uncomfortable for the visitors so far. Coyle. Farrell. J.R. Wilson. Now it's Shelbourne's turn to be pushed back. Luke Byrne. Some interesting comments by Luke Byrne this week when he said he most likely needs some knee replacements, possibly early retirement as well, managing pain. It's a reminder of the sacrifices these players are making. Smith. Caffrey spots a bit of space for Jack Moylan, and Shelbourne have got runners left and right. Moylan comes inside. They only got eyes for the goal. The attempted finish wasn't a good one. Now it's Mulroney leading the charge for St. Pat's. McCormick. Anto Breslin. Lennon. Forrester. And they've worked a little bit of space well here. They've shifted the ball really tidily there, have St. Pat's. Sjoberg, good ball in. Mulroney possibly should have done better. I think he had more time than he knew. He could have taken that down as he tried to just flick it on. There was no one marking him. He was all on his own.
Yeah, that will worry Damien Duff, Bernard. The ball coming into the box. I know Mulroney should do an awful lot better, should make contact with it, could even maybe take a touch and then hit it, but to be able to just ghost into the box like that will really disappoint Damien Duff.
Murphy, now Lennon. Forward to help try to build something was Curtis. Back it goes towards Curtis. It's not a good ball though. He's had to retreat inside his own half of the field, has the teenager. Gravosty, second season at the club now for Tom Gravosty, signed from Ross County last year. Lennon. Trying to break the lines, get that ball forward. It's back once again to Lennon. Looks left, then looks right. Forrester helps out. Lennon once again. Patient approach by St. Pat's. Breslin. Forrester. There is a runner who's McCormick. Lennon has it now. Breslin. Forrester. Lennon. keeping the ball. Shells are trying to keep them away from goal, push them back towards their own goal. And they've done just that. Here's Chris Forrester. Curtis. Gravosti. Just gets his body shape right to size up what options he had available to him. And Mulroney just could not hold on to that, and he's given it away. Smith now for Shelbourne. Look at all the space on that far side, top of your picture. Farrell spots that space, tries to find that space, and the Swedish defender, Axel Shelbourne, was taking no chances whatsoever with that. He knew Tyreek Wilson was off his shoulder, and he said, I'm going to concede a corner kick here at the risk of possibly conceding worse if I don't knock it behind.
Great idea by Shane Farrell. As soon as the ball is knocked back to him, you see he wants to whip it around the back for the St. Pat's and get Matty Smith in around the back. He's defended quite well, but I'd like to see this one going into the mixer now and giving the Shelbourne big lads a chance to go and attack it.
They've gone short again. There's a few groans from the Shelbourne supporters. This will have to go into the box. It is sent in there. Looking to do a bit of damage on it was Lunny. So Pat's now had a chance to break with McCormick. Been held up by J.R. Lunny, unfairly according to the referee. Well, another goal to report, and it's come from Oriel Park, where it's now Dundalk 2, Bohemians 0. Talbot with an own goal, the Bohemians goalkeeper, so not going well for the former league leaders, Bohemians, in that one. Not much between the two sides here. As you see this again. Gravosti. Shelbourne. Gravosti again, back to Linus, the goalkeeper. And Gravosti takes over once more. Lennon now. Shelbourne. Lennon. It's not a good ball. The idea was good. Anto Breslin is not happy whatsoever with Lennon.
Yeah, you see Breslin just come in off the wing. He wanted the ball at the feet so we could drive at the Shelbourne back five, but Lennon just plays it out to the wing blind, hoping he's out there, just to overhit it ever so slightly.
Shelbourne have this structure. It's hard to break down, and St. Pat's are finding just that at the moment. But a long ball by Shelbourne. Moylan on the end of it. Takes it in his stride. And looking to take over there was Matty Smith. Won't reach Moylan. Forrester. Now Lennon. Curtis to Breslin. McCormick now. Quick release by him. He knew he's going to be under considerable pressure from Mark Coyle. Gravosti. Pumped high up into the Drumcondra air by Curtis. Under that one was Shane Griffin for Shelbourne. Here is Griffin once again. He's skied that one as well. There wasn't much Moylan could do with it. He just turned Jack Moylan, had a look towards Griffin. He must be thinking, if I can get better service, I might just get myself a goal here. But much like Doyle at the other end, he's been feeding off scraps, the main striker for Shelbourne. Sjoberg. Lennon. Heading towards the final 5 minutes of the opening half. Still that McCormick is on the ball now. Shot that's at the crossbar, the closest we've come to a goal. Lennon. Breslin. Lennon, Forrester, and now Curtis. Gravosti. Sjoberg Finds Forrester, little look up, disguised pass to Mulroney, comes inside, Mulroney gets a shot away. Came off a defender, I think it was Luke Byrne. Corner kick is the outcome here.
Yeah, good spell of pressure there from St. Pat's, keeping the ball for a minute or so and just probing from left to right. All of a sudden Forrester spots Mulroney, bops it into him. Mulroney comes in on that right foot of his, he unleashes a shot, looked like it was going to be a decent one. The Shelbourne centre-half manages to get his head in the way and concede the corner.
Corner kick will be an outswinger from Mulroney. Shelbourne have everybody back inside the penalty area defending this one as it's whipped in. Across everybody. Looking to recycle it now is Murphy. Shelbourne have a back. Kravosti. Referee has blown the whistle. As we head towards half-time, Keith, how do you think the two managers will assess this opening half from their team's perspective?
I think Pats can move the ball an awful lot quicker at certain times. They've been really good breaking it down. Just need to change the tempo, get players like this in 1v1 situations and go and commit players. Again, the final ball has not been good enough, but for me, Shelbourne are going to overload the middle of the park. There's an awful lot of bodies in there. It's going to be touch tackle in there. Very, very hard to go through the middle. So get the ball out to Mulroney. Tell him to take on his fullback. Go and get some joy out in the wings, because like I say, there's so much traffic in the middle of the pitch. It's hard to get any sort of quality through there.
Well, there can be no doubt that Kearns is going to go along with this one. His defensive push right up to halfway. Tyreek Wilson just couldn't control it on that occasion, couldn't get there rather, should I say. Here's Shane Griffin now. Important player for Shelbourne, Cork native, second season at the club. Ex-Cork City and Reading player, was a league and cup winner with Cork. Of course, FAI Cup winner, as we said, with St. Pat's as well. Now a big part of Damien Duff's back three for Shelbourne. Back three who are keeping St. Pat's out. A little bit of pondering for the St. Pat's interim manager to do at the break. Lunny. Shelbourne with a bit of space now as Wilson tries to find Matty Smith. Now trying to get there was Jack Moylan, who took a tumble. That challenge came in from Tom Gravosti. The referee could not have been in a better position. Paul McLaughlin just waved that away. It wasn't a huge appeal from Moylan as he went down. Lennon now for St. Pat's. Is there a goal late in the half for the away side? Anto Breslin, Mulroney, Forrester. Space now for Lennon. Slides it in to feet where he finds Murphy. Shelbourne have a back now with Tyreek Wilson. Little look up. Sends one over the top for Matty Smith to try and get on the end of, but it was always going to favour the defender, who was Tom Gravosti. Mulroney. Forrester. Curtis now. Nice little step over. And we're certainly seeing more runs by Mulroney coming in from that left side, trying to get involved a little bit more. St. Pat's trying to get a little bit more support towards Doyle.
Yeah, I think that's what's been missing in both teams, Bernard, to be honest with you. A bit of penetration. A lot of stuff is just nice, easy stuff in around, all in front of both back four, back three. Need some penetration, some runs in behind.
Two really good headers there by Luke Byrne. First almost teed up Jack Moylan. Lennon. Forrester. He spots the goalkeeper off his line. It's gone wide. It's going to be a corner kick. But he has scored some really spectacular goals in his career for St. Pat's. That's Chris Forrester. Fancying himself there.
Yeah, that's what you get with Chris Forrester. Great vision. He sees the keeper a little bit off his line, tries his luck, gets a little nick after the shot, and gets himself a corner kick. But you could see the way he was nonchalantly walking up to the ball. He was up to something.
Wasn't quite Beckham against Wimbledon. Not too far away though. Playing by the goalkeeper too close to him. And that will be that for the opening 45 minutes. The closest we came to a goal, the crossbar being struck from a wonderful effort from Ben McCormick, who scored on Monday night. Plenty for Duff and Daly to do in that dressing room, in those dressing rooms at half-time. Half-time at Tolka Park. No goals to report. Shelbourne 0, St. Pat's 0.
Yeah, not exactly end-to-end stuff at Tolka Park so far. Anyway, this Ben McCormick shot just rattled the junction of post and crossbar. The closest either side have come, so the chances of another 4-4 like we had between these two teams last season, not looking likely at this stage anyway. There's the match stats so far. Shelbourne quite content to let St. Pat's have the majority of the possession, but probably have looked the more dangerous, with the only shot on target coming from Damien Duff. Is that fair to say, Ian Morris, that Shelbourne have been looking the more likely, or certainly did in the first 20 minutes or so?
Yeah, I thought they done okay. I think all the talk of Needle and Dublin Derby in the build-up, it's been a fairly dull affair in the first half. I think the energy levels and the tempo haven't been up to where the managers will want them. But the one shot on target between both teams, it wasn't.
That tells a story, doesn't it?
Tells the story, the first half.
In that early period, it looked like the sort of Shelbourne game plan was working quite well in terms of being solid, and then sort of rapier-like attacks on the Pats go. Yeah,
you can see we touched on it before the game. Just Caffrey and Smith getting closer to Moylan, and Tyreek Wilson, lovely left peg, and didn't trouble the keeper too much. But I think Shells have looked at really targeting the Pats right back area and getting down. Matty Smith, really good feet, gets himself into the box, just can't quite get his shot off. And similar again, you'll see down that side, Jack Moylan eventually gets in, gets a hold of the ball, and Caffrey's then slides one inside. I think he does right coming back inside on his left. Just that little bobble allows Curtis to get back in and get a nick on it. JJ, with his technique, he'd be disappointed not to hit the target, but he's on the ball again. And that right back area, really, they've looked at it. They've not quite got the shots off on target, but it's been an area you can see that
trying to overload
the target
numbers over there, and that was about Moylan's only real kind of sniff in and around the box. From Pat's point of view, Brian, you were sort of frustrated watching it in terms of like they knew what it was going to be like, trying to break down that well organised Shelbourne defence, and they haven't done it too often, have they?
No, the build-up has been too slow. They've had plenty of possession passes across the middle of the field, but the passing has been interrupted by a back pass. I mean, this is very early in the game. Good ball forward. Chris Forrester gets there. That's the only time any of the midfielders ran past Owen Doyle or got up to really support him. And Chris Forrester shoots over. Here he goes again, picks her up, gives to Jamie Lennon, decides to have a go from long range. But they've not really got up around Owen Doyle. He's only had one real pass in the match. It's with this sort of stuff where they build her up. Not enough ball out to Mulroney and not enough influence on the other side of the pitch from Ben McCormick. See, runners coming in too late. Got to be getting across the near post if he's going to cross it. There's the one piece that Ben McCormick's done. He's playing out on the right side. He's rarely been on the ball. This one, Adam plays it through. Adam Murphy plays it through. Mulroney tries to join up with Owen Doyle. Doesn't quite get there. And in general, Shells have been well organised and disciplined and keeping Pats well away.
Those shots from outside the box have been probably their best moments.
Yeah, because they've not got up and supported the centre forward or got in behind Shell's back five in any way. But Pats should have been overloading the wide positions because they've got a full back in place and they've got a wide player. But we've not seen the full backs getting up past the wide attacking players either. So it's been a stalemate, a lot of caution, a lot of respect. Both teams well organised and well disciplined.
Again, neither wants to lose it, I suppose, given the circumstances. Ian wants a bit more needle in the game. The rest of us hoping for just a few goals, a few shots on target would be nice. Second half from Tolka Park on the way. Now, after tonight, we've 4 more free-to-air SSE Electricity Men's Premier Division fixtures to come in the 2023 season. We'll be showing Pats again on Bank Holiday Monday, 5th of June, when they host Derry City, with 3 more fixtures to be announced at a later stage. Now, elsewhere in sport, we've 2 prestigious racing events tomorrow. First up on Virgin Media 1, racing from Newbury. The feature event is the Locking Stakes. Later on Virgin Media 2, we have the Preakness Stakes, one of America's top thoroughbred horse races. That's live from the Pimlico Racecourse in Baltimore, Maryland. Let's get back to football, back to the League of Ireland action. There's been goals in 3 of the other 4 games on tonight. First goal of the night came at Oriel Park, a 3rd against 4th here. Patrick Hooban getting on the end of Robbie McCourt's cross to give Dundalk the lead against Bohemians. And just after the half-hour mark, it was 2-0. Conor Malley's stunning effort, coming back off the crossbar, hitting poor old goalkeeper James Talbot in the back for an unfortunate own goal. So that result, if it stays like that, Dundalk moves level with the Bohemians. Let's go to Turner's Cross now, where there has been a goal as well. Cork are currently leading Sligo 1-0 there. Rory Keating put the home side in front with his 6th goal of the season. What a big result that would be for Cork if they can hold on. Badly need a win down there. So there are the half-time scores so far. Check out that score at the Brandywell as well. Derry City 1-0 up against UCD. And Shamrock Rovers, that was a later kick-off, so not quite half-time there, 0-0. So as things stand, Derry level on points with Shamrock Rovers. We're about to head back to Tolka Park. As you can see, our live game this evening is locked at 0-0, and not a vintage first half in this Dublin derby. Will it have been encouraging for Pats in a sense, though, that they are in sort of control of the match possession-wise, and that the Shells haven't caused them problems outside of that first 20 minutes even?
Well, I think both teams would have expected the game to pan out like that. I think Shells would be happier going in. Their game plan is to sit off and pick Pats off and really counter and use that attacking pace up front. So they'll be really happy with it. Pats need to find a way to break down that low block, because they're struggling to find ways to get into the Shells box. OK, let's get you back for the second half with Bernard and Keith.
Thanks, Tommy. Yes, after a largely cagey opening 45 minutes, interesting to see what this second half at Tolka Park has in store. No changes on either team for this second half. Both will hope for a change in front of goal. Still the chance from Ben McCormick when he clattered the crossbar. The closest we came in that opening 45 minutes to a goal. Shelbourne also with their chances. We'll wait and see if there's a change of approach from either manager, or if they improve that final ball, which really let both sides down, you feel, in that opening 45 minutes. Chris Forrester went down on that occasion. Did look over towards the referee, who wasn't interested. The St. Pat's goalkeeper, Dean Linus, sends that one long. Luke Byrne, towering in the air, wins it well. He's had the measure of Owen Doyle so far in this game. The same can be said at the far end by Gravosti as well, who certainly has had the measure of Jack Moylan. Here's Matty Smith bundling forward, as busy as ever, but he ran straight into traffic, and it is Gravosti who won it back. Doyle very deep, just with a little layoff. Now Schoiberg. Gravosti finds a little bit of space. The overlap is there. Anto Breslin has plenty to aim at inside the penalty area, but he's got Forrester. He also had Doyle, and he couldn't find any of those because he hit it far too close to the goalkeeper. It was a good break by St. Pat's, though.
Yeah, again, it's decent play by Pats. The ball goes out to Anto Breslin. It's not a bad ball in, but again, just the boys into the box are just a little bit on their heels. Well marshaled by the Shelbourne defence as well.
Shelbourne looking to get in behind. And they did get in behind, but there was no support for Moylan on that occasion. Pressure there on Shane Griffin, heads it away. Mulraney, St. Pat's have a player down on the far side. Mulraney's going to have to go it alone here, and he chisels out an opening, but it's a daisy cutter straight at the goalkeeper. I think it is Ben McCormick who's in a little bit of difficulty on that far side. He's back on his feet now, just not moving too freely. two Shelbourne players looking for the ball on this left side. And they've knocked the ball out of play. As Shelbourne have a player down. It's not a player they will want to have to do without. It's their top goal scorer, Jack Moylan. But he quickly laid off when he got in behind on that occasion. Then he went to ground, hasn't got back up. The player who scored a hat-trick in Sligo last week. It's a concern, Keith, for Shelbourne.
Yeah, big concern. He's a big part of what Shelbourne do. He's a lone target man up there. Been a little bit isolated in the first half, but you see Damien Duff there. He will not want to lose him. He's a big part of what Shelbourne do going forward.
Yeah, he's been excellent this season. Needs just one more goal to equal his record from last season when he scored 7 goals in 27. He's got 6 and 15 this season. Interesting scoreline from one of the other games taking place this evening. It's currently Shamrock Rovers 0, Drogheda 1. Freddie Draper with the goal there 2 minutes before half-time. Busy night across the SSE Electricity League Premier Division. Still some attention for Moylan. Well, they'll do their best to patch him up and make sure he's okay to continue. Shelbourne have not been scoring freely this season. He has bucked that trend largely by getting plenty of goals for them. And they'll do all they can to make sure he's okay to continue. And he's back on his feet. That's the round of applause from the Shelbourne fans, who will be confident now that Jack Moylan's going to be okay to continue.
It's been a selfless attack so far from Bernard, hasn't it? It's like most of the balls up to him have been up around throat level. It's been fighting balls. Very rarely have the balls been into him, been balls of quality. So he's coming back on. He will want a little bit more quality, like you say. With the hat-trick against Sligo last week, he'll be full of confidence, but needs a little bit more quality into him.
Yeah, it was a point we made numerous times in the opening 45 minutes, just that quality, that final ball in the final third towards Doyle at one end and Moylan at the other end at times has let these two sides down. If they can improve that, they may just be on their way. Tyreek Wilson. Now it's St. Pat's turn to get everybody back behind the ball, all bar Doyle. Shelbourne have it now through J.R. Wilson. Luke Byrne. Straight through Shane Griffin. There's an awful lot on that pass.
Again, Bernard, I don't think Damien Duff would be too annoyed with how Shelbourne played in the first half. There wasn't an awful lot in it, nip and tuck. Ben McCormick hit the post from 20-25 yards out. It's the only real time Shelbourne looked like he may have conceded the goal. So if Shelbourne can have a little bit more quality in the final third, defend like they have been doing, there's every chance they could get something out of this game. Pats need an awful lot more tempo in that pass, and this is too slow to break down such a good Shelbourne team.
So Pats have got the ball now, and it's Sjoberg doesn't beat the first man, who was Tyreek Wilson, who was back there tracking his run all the way. Throw in for St. Pat's, which they've taken. It's Gravosti. Now Curtis skips inside, evades the challenge by Matty Smith. Now McCormick. Back to McCormick once again. And it's being blocked. That has cleared Tolka Park. It's gone over the stand on the far side. It's out on the Richmond Road. Curtis to Gravosti. Now Shelbourne tried to push on a little bit. Lennon. It's out of play though. It's not a good ball.
No, there's been way too many of those passes, Bernard. They're trying to get things going. Jamie Lennon, you can see what he's trying to do, but there's easier passes on. He's trying those Hollywood passes to get in behind. And even if it does get there, you know, he's not unlocking the defence. Needs an awful lot more quality from both teams here.
Breaking ball, Mulroney trying to get there. Tyreek Wilson doing likewise, and he was fouled, trying to take the free kick quickly. It'll have to be retaken. St. Pat's with more of the ball. Tyreek Wilson in towards Jack Moylan, didn't reach him though. St. Pat's defend it well. It was a late goal in the game in Inchicore earlier on this season. Of course, as we said, Owen Doyle with the only goal of the game. It came in the 84th minute. Equally as tight in this game. Mulroney chests it down. Chris Forrester with the angled pass towards that far side, which McCormick will chase. He almost kept it in play as well, McCormick. He's got a throw in for his team.
Yeah, sometimes you need that. It's not a great ball, but you need players like McCormick that will just run after lost causes, and all of a sudden he's won a throw in for his team. Good running.
Here's Forrester. Had a go from the halfway line in that opening half. Gravosti once again goes towards the diagonal. Once again, St. Pat's not getting much joy from it. Farrell just lets it run.
Looks like John Daly, though, has spoke to the Pat centre halves. They look to be playing the diag ball an awful lot more. They're trying to create that overload in the wide areas, or even the 1v1s in the wide areas, and go and commit the fullbacks of Shelbourne and get in around the back that way. Because, like I say, through the middle, there's an awful lot of traffic through there.
Certainly a more direct approach by St. Pat's in the opening 10 minutes of this second half. So much of the first half trying to play out from the back, play through midfield. It was a tall order given how Shelbourne have set up. Curtis. Coyle in well. Now it's Moylan at the layoff. Moylan bandaged up. And Farrell is going to take the throw. It's not a huge amount of movement ahead for him. Coyle just sends that over the St. Pat's defence. Curtis back to his goalkeeper. Linus goes long. They've got him behind here with Forrester. Has McCormick. Forrester has a go himself. Save for the goalkeeper, and the rebound has just got over. It was Doyle. And it's going to be a corner kick. He was the right player in the right place at the right time, but he just had not got the finish.
Yeah, as soon as St. Pat's get on the ball here, you see Chris Torres are fighting away. You know he wants to manipulate that ball onto his right foot. He manages to do it. Conor Kearns can't quite gather it, palms it back into a horrible area. Owen Doyle is there, and I do think his follow-up is hitting the target. The Shelbourne defender managed to get enough on it to get it over the crossbar. Conor Kearns very, very lucky that didn't end up in the back of his own net.
Scored a winner in Inchicore earlier on this season. Scored a bag full of goals in this fixture last season. Very close once again from Owen Doyle. Referee just having a word here. Mulroney stands that one up towards the far post, and it's gone in the back of the net. It's a wonderful header. Sam Curtis has given St. Pat's the lead. The delivery was majestic, and the header was fine as well. And St. Pat's strike first in the Dublin Derby. First goal of the season for Sam Curtis, the 17-year-old from Navan. And there's huge celebrations from those travelling supporters. And Shelbourne have been undone once again from a set play.
They have, and you heard me in the first half, Bernard. I wanted more balls into the box, more balls with quality, because when you put balls of quality in, this is the sort of stuff that can happen. You see the ball here, Mulroney standing up to put it in. He drives the ball into the box, always hard to score from them sort of balls. And you see Sam Curtis, he just walks into the box, doesn't even have to jump too much, just meets the ball flush, finds the inside of that corner. Very, very difficult for Conor Kearns to get anything on that.
Well, a year on from him becoming the youngest ever St. Pat's starter in the modern era when he was just 16 years of age, he has now scored his first goal of the season. He is certainly a player catching the eye and whose star is on the rise, the now Republic of Ireland under-21 international, and that could be a big goal for St. Pat's tonight.
That could be a huge goal in the context, and you can see Sam Curtis is delighted with the header. You see him celebrating in front of his own supporters. But from a Shelbourne point of view, from Damien Duff's point of view, he hasn't had to do too much. He's just ran into a decent area, hasn't even had to get up and climb over anybody, just ghosted in there, meets the ball. It's all too easy from a Shelbourne point of view.
Well, they found Shelbourne a very tough nut to crack for the opening 45 minutes. But now 12 minutes into the second half, St. Pat's have gone in front. Crossbar struck in the first half. Lovely header in the second half. And Shelbourne will now have to have a little rethink as they try their best to get themselves back in this game. Just one goal in it in February. One goal was enough in February for St. Pat's to get the job done in this fixture. Will one goal be enough for St. Pat's to get all 3 points this evening? You always felt it was going to be a set play or a chance like that was going to separate these two sides. A real lack of quality in the final third, a lack of service towards the main strikers. And it has come from a set play with a good delivery and a fine header. St. Pat's with a chance this evening to get their 54th win in this fixture. They played 143 times before this evening. Shelbourne with 55 wins, St. Pat's with 53, 32 draws. What's the Shelbourne response now? Moylan can't get there, headed away by the goal scorer Curtis, who's already done damage with his head in this game. Maybe a free kick for Shelbourne. Maybe a chance for them to ask some questions from a set play.
Yeah, good reaction straight from the kick-off. He put the ball long. Mark Coyle goes ahead and wins the second ball and wins a free kick out. Chris Forrester, again, a really dangerous position out by Shelbourne to go and put some quality into the box.
And Shane Farrell's going to take this one right-footed. It's a good ball in, Moylan. And he got the half a yard away, he just could not get the header on target.
Yeah, again, it's a poor ball from Farrell. It's behind Moylan. It's very, very difficult to redirect that ball because you're taking all the power off, you're redirecting it. Had you scored from there, Moylan, it'd have been a wonder header.
Well, they have done well here of St. Pat's. They have breached the joint best defence in the Premier Division along with Derry City. There's 10 goals Shells conceded before tonight. That's an 11th conceded this season. It's 11 goals conceded, 7 from set plays, though. Away by J.R. Wilson. Doyle, oh, lovely first touch by Owen Doyle. Gets his shot away, but it's blocked. Shelbourne, and now it's Lennon. Breslin. He goes to his goalkeeper. Lennon once again. Farrell was onto him quick and smart. Breslin gets it away. Flag has gone up against Ben McCormick. St. Pat's look like a different team now, Keith.
They do, Bernard. Yeah, they're passing. There's a little bit more tempo in the passing. They're seeing things before. They're flicking balls around the corners. You see here, straight away, if Owen Doyle gets a little bit more on that, Ben McCormick might be in. Forrester tries to do it the second time, but the time is just a little bit out. But you can see St. Pat's have got a little bit of confidence from that goal.
Tyreek Wilson now. It's Matty Smith for Shelbourne. Griffin. Byrne. Smith in a battle with Adam Murphy. Gravostic, goal scorer Curtis, whose header separates the two sides in the derby. Coyle trying to find Moylan. Coyle will get a second attempt. This time he tries to find Matty Smith, an equally disappointing pass though by the Shelbourne midfielder. Now Schoenberg.
There you see twice Coyle picks up the ball for Shelbourne. He tries to find Moylan, doesn't quite get it. It comes back to him again. This time he tries to find Matty Smith. Again, the pass is over here. And again, it's just screaming out for that little bit of quality in the final third to make things click from Shelbourne, because they're not far away from a performance here. Defensively, they've been okay. I know they've conceded the goal, but they're not out of this game yet.
Shelbourne in desperate need of an equaliser. St. Pat's would love a second goal. And now with a one-goal cushion, they can keep the ball shifted left and right, make Shelbourne work really hard to close them down. In the first half, they're in their faces, pushing right on the St. Pat's defence. Now St. Pat's would appear to have Shelbourne exactly where they want them. Forrester. Lennon back to Forrester again. Two players who are so often the fulcrum of the St. Pat's midfield. Lennon tries a little give and go, still there for Lennon. It's easily claimed by the goalkeeper. Shane Griffin is just in a little bit of difficulty. Huge activity on the Shelbourne dugout. Griffin is okay, he's back on his feet. Wilson, J.R. Wilson that is, gets it back again off Griffin. Coyle. Tidy ball by Coyle. Lunny. And now Griffin. So Pats have it back again though. Mulroney. Oh, if he had found McCormack there, he was on his way and Shelbourne were stretched. Ball didn't reach him though. Lunny did well. Well, it's going to be Shelbourne and Damien Duff are going to make the first change in this game. And the first change is going to see the withdrawal of Mark Coyle in midfield. Shelbourne are going to bring on some fresh legs in that area with Brian McManus coming on to replace him. So on comes the player who joined from Preston in 2020, was at St. Kevin's Boys before that. Comes on for his 12th league appearance this season. Smith straight into the action is McManus. Throw-in is the outcome, sorry Keith, for Shelbourne.
Yeah, I think with McManus coming on, I think that's going to free up Matty Smith just to get that little bit closer to Moylan, because when the ball does go up to him, like you say, they're fighting balls, he's by himself, he is being isolated, so I think Damien Duff just wants to get that little bit of help up there for him. I think we'll see Matty Smith just getting that little bit closer now to Moylan.
Griffin. Lunny. Now Byrne. Byrne finds J.R. Wilson. It goes for the diagonal to find his brother Tyreek Wilson, and he has done so. Inside now for Moylan, just tried to get in behind Gravosty there, but Gravosty was good. He's been solid this evening. We had the measure of Moylan on that occasion.
Yeah, Gregowski does well there, because you see Moylan just teases him with the ball a bit, knocks it past him, and he's hoping Gregowski comes in and does something silly, a little silly tackle. Maybe he can go to the ground, but Gregowski's too smart for that, doesn't buy it.
Owen Doyle skips inside, and the shot in the end was from Adam Murphy. Lennon. Moylan wasn't anywhere near McManus. McManus has it again now for Shelbourne. J.R. Wilson, and now it's Shane Griffin. Slides that one in behind. Just asked a little bit too much on that occasion. Smith was stretching and couldn't get there. And now McCormick. Doing well on that occasion. So Pats have a back. That's going to be a free kick.
Good play from Adam Murphy, just gets away from one or two Shelbourne players. As soon as he gets through, you know he's going to be fouled. We don't like to see it, but it's a dark art to the game. Damien Duff wouldn't be happy if the Shelbourne players just let Adam Murphy stroll through them like that. Gives away a free kick, but in a very dangerous position.
He certainly is in a dangerous position. Having conceded already, they don't want to concede another now to Shelbourne. Double change being made by St. Pat's. First of which is the introduction of Mark Doyle, player who has featured heavily in attack for St. Pat's this season. So Doyle will lend some support. And the second change is also made with Timmermans brought on as well. Swung in there. Goalkeeper needs to be careful under the high ball. It's gone wide.
Decent ball in from Mulroney. Gregowski gets his head in it, just can't direct it towards the goal, but decent ball in.
The whistle is gone, and the referee is given a yellow card.
Yeah, you can see Jamie Lennon's telling the referee it's me first one. I'm not so sure about that. I think it is a yellow card. I don't think you can have too many complaints with that one.
Kearns needs to be careful. Smith trying to get there. Been well looked after in this game though by Axel Sjoberg. The referee has blown the whistle again. It's going to be a free kick for St. Pat's. Doyle trying to get there, but he's beaten in the air by Luke Byrne for Shelbourne. Chris Forrester. Mulroney, lovely touch, Lennon. Heavy coming together between Lennon and J.R. Wilson. And this time the yellow card is going to go the way of the Shelbourne player. And a free kick for St. Pat's.
Yeah, lovely little interplay there from Pat's, and it's knocked into Mulroney. Little flick opens up the pitch for Jamie Lennon. Then it's just a race for who gets there first. Lennon manages to get his toe on it first. J.R. Wilson comes in and just clatters him. There's always going to be a bit of contact there. Not too much in it, but decent whack.
Yeah, it's going to be the left foot of Mulroney who's going to take this free kick. Confirmation of the yellow card for J.R. Wilson. Mulroney cleared away. It goes J.R. Wilson, who did enough on that occasion. Made his changes, Damien Duff. We would love dearly if his side can get going forward and try and give a response here. St. Pat's controlling the game at the moment, as they really have done since they've scored.
Yeah, and they've quietened this crowd down as well. The crowd are really bouncing just before kick-off in the first half, but the second half, Pats are in control. Shelbourne haven't given their fans an awful lot to shout about, only one shot on target so far.
And he's been as lively as ever as the former St. Pat's player, Matty Smith. Just that play in the final third, you feel, has to improve if Shelbourne are to get those home supporters excited here in Tolka Park. Long throw. And the Shelbourne player took a tumble. And Shane Farrell inside the penalty area. There was certainly an appeal from the Shelbourne supporters. Byrne. McManus back to Luke Byrne once again. Into the final 15 minutes we go at Tolka Park. Is it to be another narrow victory for St. Pat's in this Dublin derby? Lovely ball. Tyreek Wilson will look to get there. And that's going to be a free kick just outside the penalty area. And that's a yellow card for the St. Pat's fullback, Axel Shelbourne.
Yeah, initially, Bernard, in real time, I thought Shelbourne was a decent tackle. Yeah, maybe goes through Wilson to get the ball. I can see why the ref gave that. Again, this is another really dangerous area to put the ball in with some real quality.
Just a little bit of attention for the St. Pat's player. The noise levels pick up from the home support in Tolka Park. They'll pick up considerably more if they can muster up an equaliser. St. Pat's looking to record back-to-back victories, 3 in a row, and actually after back-to-back victories in this fixture. And no surprise that St. Pat's have all bar Mulroney inside their own penalty area. Mulroney just inside the D. The delivery has to be good now for Shelbourne. It'll be the right boot of Shane Farrell. Shelbourne looking for a response in the derby. Lofted in there, it was inviting. McManus been urged to shoot from the home supporters, and he has skied it over the bar. A chance for Shelbourne, but it's come and gone.
Yeah, initially it's not a bad ball into the box, but when it comes out to McManus on the edge of the box, he straight away gets it onto that left foot of his. You're thinking, go on, what have you got? Leans back, fires it over. Nowhere near good enough again from Shelbourne's attackers.
Dean Linus with the goal kick. Manny Smith was looking to get there. It's Timmermans. Moylan can't get there. They may just get in behind. Smith is going to chase down the goalkeeper here, who needs to be careful, and he's got his clearance away. Luke Byrne is under it for Shelbourne, who now have it through Tyreek Wilson. Griffin. Byrne. Tyreek Wilson. Lennon comes across. Always there on the cover when needed for St. Pat's is Jamie Lennon. Now it's Owen Doyle. Nutmegs the Shelbourne player. Mulroney looking to get in behind. Here's Lennon now, wants it at the back post. It's going to be a corner kick to St. Pat's. And there's going to be another change imminent for St. Pat's. Another change, which is going to see the withdrawal of Shelbourne, who I think got a knock, and he got that attention a couple of moments ago, and he's not going to be okay to continue. He's been good this evening as Shelbourne, but he won't see this game out, Keith.
No, he has been good, yeah. Jack Moylan's been running into that channel in the first half, and Soyberg had to deal with that. A couple of little runs as well in the second half he's managed to deal with, but coming out now with an injury.
John Allen McGrath is on his place. Free kick out is the decision from the referee on that occasion. It's not a good kick from the Shelbourne goalkeeper. Now it's Mulroney going up in the air with Griffin. So it's going the way of St. Pat's here with 10 minutes to go. Really interesting scoreline from the Tallaght Stadium this evening, where the latest score is Shamrock Rovers 0, Drogheda United 2 now. Dale Rooney has doubled Drogheda's lead in that game. Top of the table Rovers, who beat St. Pat's on Monday night. Moylan, he's got him behind here, Moylan. Can he get his feet and his shot away? But he can sort out his feet. There was a little bit of traffic and he just couldn't get his shot away cleanly, but it's an opening for Shelbourne.
Yeah, look, St. Pat's do really well to close the door, but when Moylan gets the header on, he's coming through. Shane Farrell is busting a gut on the right wing. Can Moylan just manipulate that ball to his right? He wants to take the shot on, but St. Pat's do really well just to close the door on him.
And you would have fancied Jack Moylan to score from there, but credit to the St. Pat's defenders, who are getting back quick and smart on that occasion.
It's the first time really, Bernard, that Jack Moylan has been running onto a ball. Everything's been fighting up around his throat balls like this, fighting with Rogovski, but that's the first time he's actually got free and running onto a ball.
Lennon finds Mulroney, tidily done by Mulroney, and it's a nice ball as well. Forrester. Doyle. Forrester looking to get there. He won't. It'll come out towards Curtis. Now it's Jack Moylan. Ball into the channel. Now 1v1. It's Matty Smith, but it's a heavy touch from the Shelbourne player just when he needed a good touch. His touch let him down.
Yeah, you can see this time Moylan wins the battle, manages to play a ball into Matty Smith behind you. I think, go on, open your legs, see what you can do, but the touch is just too heavy and just kicks it out over the throw-in line. Not good enough again. The final third from Shelbourne.
Tyreek Wilson heads it on. Moylan, who's seen more of the ball in the past couple of minutes, goes down, looks towards the referee. Paul McLaughlin says nothing is going to be doing there. You can get yourself back on your feet. Lunny, J.R. Wilson. 83rd minute at Tolka Park. It's still Sam Curtis's header in the 57th minute, separating the two sides in this Dublin derby. That's not great from Griffin.
I'm not sure what Shane Farrell is saying at all there. He comes in on his left foot and you think, go on and just float into the back stick for Moyle, and he tries a reverse pass, but nobody's on the same wavelength as him at all, and just goes out with it. St. Pat's goal kicking. That's largely been the story of the day so far for Shelbourne, just not enough quality in the final third.
Well, we did speak about their lack of goals this season, and it's coming back to haunt them once again. Damien Duff's side, they have got time here. Duff and assistant manager Joey O'Brien deep in conversation about how they're going to try and set up for the remaining minutes here to try and get themselves the goal they need, and they need badly. Another change. This time it's Shelbourne are going to make a couple of changes. That's more fresh legs, more chance for Duff and co to give some instructions. Wilson replaced by Ledwidge. Maybe two changes by St. Pat's as well. And also brought on Kyle Robbins. Double change too by St. Pat's. Not too surprising. Conor Carthy is going to be brought on for them in one of those two changes. And they can see the finish line now. 85th minute, 5 minutes to go. Ron Doyle is the player who makes way for Carthy. So another roll of the dice. Luke Byrne, the captain, has gone off for Shelbourne. Shelbourne and the supporters urging Lunny to shoot. He likes this fixture, but he could not get his shot significantly away. Headed towards danger on that occasion. Little swig of the water bottle from Damien Duff. Time against the side who are got some defending to do here. St. Pat's head towards the corner flag. They can see the finish line now. Can St. Pat's? Shelbourne get it back. Good pressure though. It's by Doyle. Little look up to see what options he has. Still there. Tries to just fizz it across the 6-yard box. Back out by Carty. And the follow-up shot is off target.
Again, we all know how defensively strong Shelbourne are. We're just struggling to clear the lines there, and Pat's getting one or two bites at the cherry to get a shot off. They eventually do, but it's nowhere near the goal. But I don't think Damien Duff would be too happy with that defending. Once you get a chance to clear your lines, do it.
Well, in the 87th minute, the SSE Artricity man of the match has been chosen, and Chris Forrester, who's been really good for St. Pat's this evening, has got the nod. It's been a tight Dublin derby, but Forrester has been excellent on the ball. Right now, Shelbourne looking to be good on the ball. McManus enforced a little bit wider than he would have liked. Back to Moylan, long way out for Jack Moylan. Decent delivery in towards them. Back post, and it's the side netting. What a chance, and in some ways perhaps Shelbourne would have chosen for that to be the other way around and for Moylan to be on the end of it. But there was a chance. Robinson couldn't make it stick though.
Yeah, you see, when Jack Moylan gets the ball, we've been screaming out for quality all night, Bernard. There's that bit of quality that we need. As you say, if Jack Moylan's on the end of that, I think it hits the back of the net. As it is, it's Robinson. He gets a good header on it, just needs to send that back across the goalkeeper. You can't miss near post. It's okay if you miss at the far side, but you can't miss near post. But brilliant, brilliant ball from Jack Moylan. That's what Shelbourne have been waiting on.
It's taken them late into the night in Tolka Park. Big chance for Shelbourne. Is that the chance for Shelbourne in this game? Well, considering they've only got 2 minutes to play, it may just prove to be. Shelbourne come forward once again. Ledwidge. That's a good delivery in again. We thought there was going to be an opening. Griffin! He gave that some welly. It was a wonderful effort. Everybody in the ground had a big, large intake of breath, and that wasn't too far away from what would have been a spectacular equaliser by Shane Griffin. Got it so cleanly.
Yeah, what a strike. Just on the half volley as well. Hits it sweet as a nut. It's only a yard or so over. Dean Linus in the Pats goal's not sure. He's trying to get something on it. Great strike, but all of a sudden Shelbourne are putting balls into the box with quality. They're winning the second balls, and Pats are on the back foot. Much, much better from Shelbourne. Why it's took till the 87th minute for them to start doing this, I'm not sure, but it's an awful lot better all of a sudden from Shells.
Shane Farrell hasn't scored this season. What a time that would have been for Farrell to get his first goal of the season. Moylan, been dispossessed. Curtis, and he takes a tumble, and it's going to be a free kick for St. Pat's, who will eat up a little bit more time. And there was the header away, and here comes Shane Farrell now, and the goalkeeper is scrambling to get across. Maybe he had it covered. Wonderful effort though.
Brilliant from Farrell. Makes up his mind early, plants his foot. Excellent, excellent strike. Just rises over the bar. If you want to be hypercritical, Anto Breslin's header at the back stick. He can't be heading it back out into that area. Needs to head it wider. But brilliant, brilliant strike from Farrell. Very unlucky.
Shelbourne have all their players in and around the penalty area. Swung in, left-footed, and that came off a Shelbourne head. It did, and so it's going to be a corner kick to St. Pat's in stoppage time at Tolka Park.
And you would imagine that Pats will take an absolute age to get this ball back in play. It's another very good ball into the back stick, well defended by Wilson at the back post. Just gets enough on it to get it behind for the corner.
7 additional minutes. We've played one of those 7. No short corner kick routine as they stand that one up. The goalkeeper comes and loses it. He was fouled in the process, so it's going to be a free kick for Shelbourne. Well, those 7 additional minutes will certainly give Shelbourne a little bit of hope that perhaps they can muster up one more chance in this game. Certainly have time to do so. St. Pat's just want to keep the ball exactly where they have it now. Timmermans. The ball over the top. Shelbourne defend it. The hurry is on now for Shelbourne. Clock very much against them. The goalkeeper just thumps that one forward. But it's gone over everybody's head. It's going to go straight through to his opposite number. Dean Linus taking no chances with that one. Was flicked on that occasion by Robinson. Couldn't find a teammate though.
Yeah, Matty Smith coming back from an offside position. He can't run after because Pats will get a free kick. He just lets it go. And again, the seconds just dwindle away.
J.O. Wilson. Goalkeeper goes long again. Tries to get Robinson in over the top. Doesn't reach him though. The header away by Wilson. J.O. Wilson that is, and St. Pat's come forward. Referee waves play on. Here is the shot. Isn't too far over. It was a long way out. Timmermans with the effort.
It's not a bad strike, but I'd like to see Timmermans keep that ball, recycler out to the right wing, and just keep the ball for as long as they can.
Moylan. He is in a very wide position though, Moylan. Tried to cross that one in left-footed, couldn't do so. And St. Pat's clear their lines again. Halfway through the 7 additional minutes. St. Pat's on their way to 3 points. That will take them above Shelbourne. It could even get better for St. Pat's here. Carthy. What's the decision? He's going to head towards goal for now. Anyway, is Carthy. Forrester. Timmermans. Shelbourne have it back. Matty Smith has it back for Shelbourne. And he's been fouled. And there's a little bit of afters as well between Smith and Timmermans. Yellow card apiece is the decision there.
Not sure why Matty Smith looks absolutely shocked. It is a foul on him, and it would have been a yellow card for Timmermans, but Matty Smith reacts. He stands over him, he walks, he leaves the knee, and he's back a couple of times. There's not an awful lot in it, but the referee is always going to book you for reactions like that. It's very, very silly for Matty Smith because he done well, he drove. He had a decent free kick now in a good position.
Well, this may well be this for Shelbourne. One perhaps final chance of an equaliser. 95th minute of Tolka Park as it's swung in, sent back, but it's close to the goalkeeper, too close to the goalkeeper, and it's easily gathered by Dean Linus, who will take his time with this one. And maybe now Shelbourne's last chance has passed them by.
Yeah, again, the quality in is a lot better this time. Shane Griffin gets in around the back, manages to get his head on it. He's trying to put it back across the 6-yard box, but Dean Linus in the Pats goal is nice and alive and comes and gathers it.
St. Pat's looking to get in behind here to seal it. It was a big chance, but it's sent over the bar. Conor Carty could have sealed the win there.
A lovely little flick around the corner from McClellan. You see when he gets through here, Carty, you're thinking he's going to hit the back of the net, but just leans back and fires it wide and not so handsome.
It's seconds now, not minutes for Shelbourne. Final minute of the additional 7. McManus, heavy touch by Robinson. St. Pat's clear their lines. Here's Carty again. Shields the ball well. Chris Forrester has run onto it. Here comes Chris Forrester. He's been forced wide. Chris Forrester has sent it wide. It's going to be a corner kick though. And he's got the man of the match nod. He almost sealed that with the seal of approval in terms of the second goal.
You see when he goes around the goalkeeper here, I'm not sure how much JJ Lunny knows about it. Hits him in the back and goes wide. Chris Forrester should be hitting the back of the net there, but you would imagine Pats will keep this ball in Shelbourne's half now, and Shelbourne shouldn't get another chance if Pats do what they should.
Well, they have it in the corner. The referee, you feel, will soon blow this one up. So Pat's looking to get in behind. The referee was in a good position. Claims of a penalty, which has been waved away. Shelbourne will hope they can have one final attack at St. Pat's. It's going to be a free kick. We've said it a few times. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it really is all on this now for Shelbourne. They've been in the last chance saloon for a good while here. They'll soon have to check out. The goalkeeper will take the free kick. Here we go. Is there a late equaliser for Shelbourne? There goes the full-time whistle. 3 points for St. Pat's, which will take them now above Shelbourne in the table. And they've done the double over Shelbourne this season in the first of the 2 league meetings between the two sides. It was tight in Inchicore back in February. It was tight here as well. Just the slimmest and narrowest of margins. Just 1 goal scored. There's the man who scored it. Sam Curtis, the Republic of Ireland underage international, with his first St. Pat's goal of the season, and it's the travelling supporters from Inchicore who will make the journey back across the city in buoyant mood. It's defeat for Damien Duff's Shelbourne, a narrow defeat in what was a lively contest. It has finished here, Shelbourne 0, St. Pat's 1.
Yes, indeed, it's the Saints who will go marching back across the Liffey with the 3 points. It was a slow simmer of a Dublin derby that boiled over into life in the latter stages. Shelbourne pushing on, looking for that late equaliser, but Damien Duff will probably rue surrendering that 8-match unbeaten run in rather timid fashion for much of that match. But a big, big win for St. Pat's. 1-0 to Pats is how it finished. Analysis from Ian and Brian coming up after the break.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage.
Dairygold is made using natural
Healthcare. Press play.
SSE Airtricity, proud sponsors of League of Ireland coverage.
Well, it took a set piece to separate the sides, and it was 17-year-old Sam Curtis, big star of the future. He gave Pats the 3 points and the bragging rights over Shells. Second 1-0 win of the season for them. Crucial victory for Pats, thanks in no small part to man of the match, their captain Chris Forrester. He's with Will.
Congratulations. We're going to present you with the player of the match. We bring in Claire Murphy from LGBT Ireland to present you with the SSE Airtricity player of the match. Chris, congratulations firstly. An important victory on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. We knew coming into today it was going to be a tough venue to come to. Not many teams come here and, you know, get the 3 points. We knew what to expect from Shells. We knew set piece would play a part, they always do.
Listen, Shells started maybe just a little bit brighter in the first half, but then you settled into it. Was patience the key tonight?
Yeah, we knew they had the crowd behind them, everything they're going to start fast. Damien has them well set up, and you know they're roiled up. You can sense it from them. Probably a bit too roiled up going into games, but we knew the initial push from them would die away, and we'd get control of the play.
And listen, talk to us about the second half. You mentioned set pieces there. Was that something you'd worked on? You'd identified as possibly a weakness you could get a chance from, and you did?
Yeah, we do a lot of work with Shani, John. Everybody's pulling their weight on set pieces. We knew it's a Dublin derby. They're always kind of decided by little things like that. So we knew yesterday we need to concentrate on them. And yet they paid dividends for us today.
And listen, last 10-15 minutes extra time was a real derby atmosphere. Be a help for him.
Yeah, we did, and it shows great character. We got young lads in there playing centre half. Sam Curtis was my man in the match today, but yeah, perfect performance from the lads. Digged in, got the 3 points, and now we're on the road.
And listen, finally, obviously 3 points pushes you up the table. Big match from Dundalk next. Good to get a run going now.
Yeah, you know, last time we played Dundalk, it was 5-0 up there. We know we want to set that right, so it's no better game to go into.
Well, Captain Chris, cheers. Thanks, well done.
Thanks very much. Bye bye.
Thank you, well done.
Well, Brian and Ian, he's disagreeing with you. He thought Sam Curtis should have got the man of the match, but explain why you gave it to Captain Fantastic Chris Forrester.
Well, it wasn't just me. I think Ian agreed with me going into first half.
Collective responsibility.
He's been
Brian.
very modest about his own performance. To say, young Curtis had a very good game at centre half, but he was the outstanding technical player on the pitch. Some of the skills he's shown. I mean, I often hear people saying he's worth the money you pay to go in to watch a match when he's playing. Just the excellence of his touch, his awareness of where his teammates are, and his capability to deliver the passes, and this bit of extravagance here, trying to score from 40 yards range. But I thought he had a smashing game tonight all round and controlled that midfield area, and he just failed to dress it up with a goal, I suppose. He had a couple of chances.
And he made a few interesting points as well in that interview, didn't he, Ian? We'll talk about the set-piece aspect in a minute, but patience was the word he used there. Just ride out the early storm from Shells, and that sort of poise that he brought around the midfield area was key, wasn't it?
Yeah, he brings that calmness to their play. He keeps things ticking along, but he also has that element of magic about him. He can do things that a lot of others can't do in the league, and he was a big leader in that change room tonight, and he just showed his bit of class, and I'm sure he'll be kicking himself if he didn't cap it off.
This was the chance.
This was supposed to wrap it up nicely.
Just broke it up. I mean, his finishing has been very good this season, been excellent, but he was just forced a little bit wide there, and they couldn't quite squeeze her into goal. But an outstanding game tonight.
Yeah, he's 8 goals already this season, which he's well on course for his best ever goal scoring season. So surprising didn't wrap that one up. Let's have a look at the crucial moments though, Ian. And coming into the game, John Daly had talked about set pieces, how that was an area that he would open about. They would look to try and score there. And as you can hear from what Chris Forrester was talking about, they knew it was an area that they could potentially profit from.
Yeah, the Shells have conceded 11 goals this season, and like it was highlighted in the commentary, 7 from set pieces. And you see Sam here, he just gets away and comes inside J.R. Wilson, and he's a free header on goal in the 6-yard line. It's a soft goal from Shells' point of view, but with them statistics, they'd have known that, and Chris alluded to it in his interview, and they've worked on it this week, and it's an area they thought that they could capitalise on.
Well, they won the first game this year, Tommy. It was a corner kick laid on, and Owen Doyle got to it, Nigel in. But I thought overall in the game tonight, Pats were the better team, and the goal didn't reflect their dominance in the game in terms of the quality of how they played.
Given how much we know that Damien Duff works in the training ground with his team and how well drilled they are in so many aspects of the game, will that stat that Ian has just repeated there about the amount of goals they're conceding as set pieces, is that going to be something that will be tearing his hair out of it?
Well, hold on. They've only conceded 10 goals before tonight in the league, so that's 11 and 16 games. So you concede the odd goal or a set piece, but you're not conceding them in open play. You live with that. You work on not conceding goals or set pieces, but you also work on not conceding goals in the game, and his team is doing that. They're very well set up.
Yeah.
They're well structured, well organised. They didn't do an awful lot with the ball when they had the ball. They didn't give much chance to Matty Smith or Jack Moylan to get on the ball, or Evan Caffrey. They had very little ball to play with. But, the concession of goals is not their issue. It's creating chances and scoring goals.
Damien's been brilliant, I think. He's bred loads of confidence and belief into this squad, and I don't see this having any effect on them. I think they'll bounce back quite quickly.
Would you not think that he'd be disappointed with the manner of the performance in terms of the creativity aspect of it? That Pats got their goal, and we had to wait until quite late in the game for a bit of a surge from Shells.
Yeah, I think Jack Moylan took a nasty knock. It looked like he went into the wall around the edge of the ground, and he looked a bit off from that, and he's their main threat. But the last 10-15 minutes, you really started to see Shells and do what they've been doing for most of the season. They cause teams trouble. They get bodies forward. They get bodies in the box. They're making forward runs. And Kyle Robinson nearly comes off and gets the equaliser for them.
He has to head that back across the goalkeeper, though. He heads it into the side net, and he gets in behind Jamie McGrath. A couple of other late chances. But through the game, they created very little, and they gave very little service to the front players to work with. But in fairness to Pats at the back, that was a solid performance. Gravosti, Sam Curtis, Shelbourne and Breslin were nice and steady, and when Jay McGrath come on, he did okay too. They were solid. I mean, the goalkeeper, Dean Linus, hardly had a save to make in the match.
Let's go to the results from elsewhere. We'll come back to tonight's action at Tolka Park in due course. But as you can see there, big result for Cork City. Ruairi Keating's first half goal, enough to give them a much needed win at home to Sligo Rovers. Derry City hammering UCD 4-1 at the Brandywell. Dundalk 2, Bows 2. Now Dundalk were 2-0 up in that game, so that's a massive fight back for Bows up at that end of the table. As you can see there, our live game, a big result for Pats, 1-0 winners away to Shelbourne, ending Shelbourne's unbeaten home run, and Rovers, the champions, they are losing at home to Drogheda, but that game is not over yet. 2-1 to Drogheda. That's potentially a big result there. You wouldn't put it past Rovers in injury time to come back and steal something out of it. But look at that table, Ian. I mean, could this be a potentially, in early days yet, not even halfway, one of those sort of pivotal nights in the title race? Derry taking top if it stays like that? Yeah, that'll get Derry's tails up there if Rovers do lose that game. But like you said, I wouldn't rule them out. They're brilliant at going right till the end. But it's a big night, and there's been Bow's result as well. Coming back to gain a point is a big one. So it's exciting to keep the pot boiling, and what that means, by the way, we're looking at Pats potentially leapfrogging Shelbourne into fifth. It means the Pats actually go fourth after that result at the moment. But let's hear from the losing manager from our live game this evening. Here's Damien Duff.
Damien, obviously disappointed with tonight's result.
Yeah, it was a very strange performance. I was happy enough at half time. I just thought we lacked that cutting edge maybe in the final third. But then the second half, as the game wore on, we just became flatter and flatter. We gave Tolka Park absolutely nothing to shout about, and I think the crowd only got animated when there were 7 minutes put up. You know, we always say rely on the crowd. Well, no, it's the players that, you know, get people up, and I thought it was a really flat, lethargic performance for whatever reason. I don't know. I asked them. They can't tell me.
It was literally going to be my second question to you. You started well, started brightly enough without creating too many major chances. Why do you think there was that lack of cutting edge tonight in comparison to the Sligo game?
Oh, listen, it happens. That's why attacking players are the best paid players in the world. So yeah, listen, it didn't happen, but second half we were still bouncing out, hoping to create something and obviously win the game. But yeah, like I said, there was a flatness, a scruffiness about us, and it just went like a cancer through the team as the game wore on. You could feel that they lacked belief. Why, I don't know. And after a lovely, wonderful display from the crowd before the game, like I said, it was a strange, flat performance that I'll have to get to the bottom of. A Dublin derby being flat in it, it's not right.
And listen, the work done on the training ground and obviously through tactics, disappointed to concede then from a corner as well.
Yeah, obviously, listen, we've obviously changed our shape for obvious reasons. We've obviously gone semi-zonal, man marking, but it still comes down to responsibility, and yeah, I think it's Sam Curtis scores in the back area, loses marker. So again, it comes down to these moments. I think we've handed them the game. I don't think they've done an awful lot to win it. We just handed them on a plate. So yeah, really disappointing.
Listen, could you take a few positives from the game and the fact that you were fairly compact, fairly solid? Last 10 or 15 minutes you did have a bit of a go. There was a few half chances in there.
Yeah, listen, we had to change formation. It never looked like we were going to play through them. So yeah, we changed the formation, thought we'd try something different. Yeah, a few half chances, but like I said, we never gave the crowd anything to shout about. So the from this whole weekend for me would be that Gav Malloy and Sean Boyd are nearly back.
Okay, good stuff. And listen, obviously we talked about that run, that's now over, but important to get back on the horse, so to speak. Bows away next, it's a tough one.
Yeah, listen, again, another Dublin derby, so here, if you play with that flatness next week, you'll soon get found out. But no, listen, all runs come to an end. I never got carried away with it. I never get too high, too low. We'll just have to start another one.
Cheers, Damien.
Thank you.
That's an interview full of messages to the players this evening. Gav Malloy and Sean Boyd coming back is the only positive news. He said it flummoxed there, didn't he, with the performance?
Yeah, I think we mentioned that. He mentioned there he was happy enough at half time, and I think we'd agreed with that. They set up to do what Shells do. They sit back, look to break and create chances. But I think it was a very honest interview, and it was flat, and they did lack that cutting edge at the top end of the pitch. But like he said, he's going to dig into that, and I'm sure there'll be a different side when they play Bowls next week.
John Daly get the job, Brian?
I have no idea, Tommy, but he's done himself no harm. He's won 3 games out of 4.
You said that's been their best performance in quite a while?
In the last, yeah, it was actually. There's the most disciplined performance defensively, I say. Didn't create too many clear-cut chances, but defence has been a problem. Lots of changes in that defence, and they stood up to it tonight, even if Damien hadn't got his
He's a happy man, folks. Thanks to Ian and Brian for the thoughts tonight. 1-0 win for Pats against Dublin rivals Shelbourne, and a super night for Sam and the Saints. Good night.
1 by 1, 2 by 2, my walls come falling down, so let them fall.